Hey, do you ever just feel defeated? Well, today we're going to look at Gideon's story and see if we can find some encouragement from that. So that's our topic, so stick with us. Hey, today I'm going to talk about for the days you feel defeated, we're going to find hope in Gideon's story. Our scripture today comes from Judges chapter 6, verse 12. And there it says, when the angel of the Lord appeared to Gideon, he said, "The Lord is with you, mighty warrior." See, some days can seem hurried, pressured, and tense. And we know God's truth. We can believe his goodness, and yet we still find ourselves struggling, minds racing, before our feet even touch the floor in the morning. And our focus becomes blurred. We start listening to the lies of other voices can do more harm than good. And the constant media headlines tell us how dark and broken our world is. Images and reminders all around us shout that we're not enough. See, the enemy's great at heaping on guilt, condemnation, and fear. And the problems we face seem more like giants of impossibility than anything good that God can bring from it. See, the truth is, some days we don't feel like much of a strong warrior for God's purposes. We just feel really weak, alone, afraid, and defeated. But often out of his goodness and grace, when we find ourselves right smack in the middle of a huge feeling of defeat, God shows himself strong and powerful. As it says in Judges again, 6:12, when the angel of the Lord appeared to Gideon, he said, "The Lord is with you, mighty warrior." And understand, Gideon certainly had no reason to feel strong, mighty, or anything like a warrior at that moment. He and his people were facing great suffering and defeat at the hand of the enemy. He doubted God was even with him. In fact, when the angel showed up, he was threshing wheat in the pit of a wine press, not up on a hilltop where this was usually done out in the open. Said he was fearful and trying to keep hidden from the view of the enemy who'd been raiding their land. See, Gideon questioned, if God was with us, then why did all this happen? And does this sound familiar? Have you ever been there? I think we all have. If God is really here, then why? If God is really good, then when? If God really cares, then how will he get me through this? But I love how God is so gracious, patient, loving, and kind. Even with the questions, even after his people had turned their back on him, God still sends an angel to encourage, to strengthen, to remind Gideon and all the Israelites that he is surely with them. And yet, even while staring straight into a heavenly messenger, Gideon continues to persist in defeated thoughts. He still questions, but am I the weakest? Am I the least? But how can God save Israel? And the Lord answered, "I will be with you." And these are 5 powerful words that can see us through anything we face in this life. I will be with you. See, God's presence is real. He gives us strength for every day. The battle can be intense, and some days especially the enemy seems really strong and we feel really weary. We can find ourselves wrestling again with the same defeated thoughts that we thought we'd finally lay to rest just the night before. Then disappointments come. We struggle with the feeling like we haven't measured up. We listen to the lies that we are less than. But God still answers us just like he did for Gideon. He sees mighty when we see weak. He sees victory when we see defeat. He gives hope when we're filled with disappointment. He's still with us no matter how we might feel or what struggles might flood our thoughts. He's filling us with power and grace of his Spirit, just enough for the day, for this day. So a reminder for your heart, and whatever you might be facing, change your focus, because the Lord is with you and you're a mighty warrior. And in this you'll find your strength. And that's my message for today. Until next time, I hope you find all the strength you need to be a mighty warrior for God, and we lift this up to him in the name of his Son, Jesus Christ.